Thanks once again for dropping by the channel. If you like the content, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it, felt it was useful. Now let's get into this. So promoter Eddie Hearn recently gave an interview, I believe it was a Boxing Social, could have been on IFL, but I think it was a Boxing Social, and he was asked, several questions, obviously kind of questions we already know about Billy Joe, stuff like that, but one thing that I thought was very interesting is that he said that Usyk versus Chisora is still on, okay? It's targeted now provisionally for October, Eddie Hearn is saying. Now, I would take that with a pinch of salt, because with Eddie Hearn, well, you take a lot of things Eddie Hearn says with a pinch of salt, to be fair, because one minute he's saying he's all for Undisputed, and then he's saying he's prioritising Dylan White. You take things pretty much all promoters say with a pinch of salt. But when it comes to Oleksandr Usyk and Dereck Chisora, this is the fight I'm most skeptical about in terms of will it take place, won't it take place. And there are basically two reasons for that. From the start, even prior to what we have in the world going on, this fight was a bit tricky in terms of what was going on with it, because come what January this year, we were hearing from Eddie Hearn that we want to get Usyk versus Chisora. This is the fight we want it sometime in the summer, which is fine. A lot of people were saying they were happy with that, that's fine. But then in the next breath, you'd Usyk's co-promoter, because let's not forget, although Usyk is promoted by Eddie Hearn, I think he's on like a 3-fight deal with Matchroom, he's also co-promoted by K2, the Klitschko's promotion. Well, he's been with them, I think he's been with them since he turned pro. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's been with them since he turned pro. So when they were talking about Usyk versus Chisora back then, you had Eddie Hearn saying, yeah, it's good to go, and you had the K2 representative saying, no, different story. So it is a bit up in the air. In terms of October, you would imagine that October you could have, a limited number of fans, truth be told. I mean, I know here they have lifted a lot of restrictions. Well, they are lifting a lot of restrictions in terms of indoor events, outdoor events. So I think they said by the time July rolled around, we can have up to 100 people indoors and I think 200 something people outdoors. So that's July. So you're talking October. You would imagine that it would be, realistically, you'd be increased by then. God knows to what, but it would be increased. So that's at least in Ireland. In the UK, I don't know. They might do something similar, who knows. So yeah, you could potentially have fans. You could potentially have, a decent amount of fans added come October. But that is a fight that I think, with Povetkin versus White, you get the sense that both guys, they wanted that fight and they were happy enough to take a pay cut to have it at the Matchroom headquarters, With AJ versus Pulev, Eddie Hearn has admitted that's probably going to go abroad. So, that's all well and good. It's a mandatory, it has to happen anyway. But if it goes abroad, so be it. AJ's fought abroad a couple of times. He's been fighting abroad for the last year. So that's no real news. In terms of Usyk Chisora, I mean, Usyk in Ukraine, he'd be a big name, but Chisora's not going to travel to Ukraine. I don't know what way they are over there with regards, events and stuff like that. They're not going to do that fight abroad. In terms of the UK, Usyk he's not a big name in the UK. He's not really a big name in general, but he's definitely not a big name in the UK. He'd be known, but he wouldn't be massively known. In terms of Chisora is known, but realistically, it's London. It's the O2 where Dereck Chisora, his fan presence is at its max. So a fight at that, like Usyk Chisora, you need to have that in London. You need to have that at the O2 because, both guys are going to want money. You're doing it on pay-per-view. So you need to have the gate receipt to be able to pay those guys because both guys want money. And that's the one fight. That's the one fight. After all this stuff with lockdowns and all came into place, that was the one fight that was kind of, right, we'll put that on the back foot. We won't talk about that fight. So, yeah, the provisional date that Eddie Hearn has given us for October, I don't know, man. I think that is, we'll have to wait and hear what the K2 representatives say. Because, Usyk, the K2 representatives, they want that WBO title fight. They want it as soon as possible. Who's to say they won't maybe take, and as well as that, who's to say they won't decide, we don't want to fight Dereck Chisora, we're fighting AJ next. What's the point in fighting a 6'1" guy who's a pressure fighter when AJ is 6'6" and he's probably going to try and box with us? So they might look at Eddie Hearn and say, we don't want this. We want someone tall so Usyk can get the range. So that could all happen. Who knows? As I said, with Eddie Hearn and Usyk, it's like whatever Eddie Hearn says, you wait for K2 to come out and say something as well, because it's been, ever since pretty much they've started working together, it's been Eddie Hearn says one thing, K2 said the other. So now those are my thoughts on this. Let me know yours. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe. Of course, if you are new, let me know your thoughts. Do you think we'll get this fight, or do you think this fight is dead in the water? Let me know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you.